I bet. One day we'll start on time. I guarantee it. It's just not fun to be on time. Oh shit, we're live. What's going on, you cool cats and kittens? hmm We've got two movies. All right. Yeah, seems like you're in a bit of a hurry there, sir. All right. Well, I say we go ahead and knock one of these just out of the way real quick. That being Dude Bro Party Massacre 3. So, this is a movie, came out in 2015, and it is a parody of 1980s like B horror movies. It's directed by some people, it's produced by some people, and it stars some people, and then Patton Oswalt is the only person that I recognized. And it had a budget of $241,000. And the plot, I'm just going to read the plot as Wikipedia has it because it's a paragraph. Brent's twin brother Brock is murdered by Motherface, a serial killer who targets fraternities. Brent joins his brother's fraternity to learn what really happened to his brother. After their latest prank causes the deaths of dozens of people, the campus forces the fraternity to relocate to a cabin in the woods. Infuriated by the lack of punishment, Motherface hunts down the fraternity brothers to finally kill them all. That's the basic plot of Dude Bro Party Massacre 3. Also, I wanted to get it. Yeah, I wanted to get it out of the way. Also, Dude Bro Party Massacre 3 is neither a sequel nor a prequel. They just put 3 at the end of it because. And that's the kind of movie that we're dealing with here. It's the third, yet it's the first. It is what it is. It's. What did you think? You're the horror movie expert and aficionado. Everybody can hear you.
It'd be really nice if it was using the actual fucking microphone that I paid a shit ton of money for.
Hell yeah! Now you're probably clipping out like a motherfucker.
No, I can see my
There's either
my interface, but I definitely need to make sure everybody out there can hear me first. So, Brittany, could you please let a brother know?
I see 2 people saying you're still muted.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Mic check 1, 2.
1, 2. All right. So no, apparently it decided to go all wonky on my shit. So, anyways,
Yeah, what'd you think?
Dude Bro Party Massacre 3. I like the fact that this movie did not take itself seriously at all.
Well,
Right?
neither does a crack.
There was not a single instance in this movie where you could look at it and say, these guys legitimately thought they were making a really good movie. That never crosses your mind in this film.
No.
And then I think we're gonna have a slight differing of opinions on this one. Uh, but let's precurse that with, by no means do I think this is a really good movie, right? Um, I think the fact that it didn't take itself seriously, it's clearly an art film type deal made for a very specific type of person. But some of the things, like one of the guys gets his stomach cut open and like a half a mile of guts flies into the toilet, and they stay on this one shot of his guts flying out for what seems like 3.5, maybe 4 hours, but it's only like a minute, but it feels way longer than they should have like stood there. So it's like, it's funny, right? It's funny. But other than that, like, I knew for a fact Steven was going to hate it. And I'm not the biggest fan of it. I can appreciate it for what it is, but I am not a fan of it.
Okay. So for me, this is a parody movie.
Mm-hmm.
Satire.
It's exactly
it's a
what
satire of 80s B horror movies, which I fucking hate 80s B horror movies. Like, I hate that genre of movie. So I'm not going to like a satire of it. You know, like you had, like, I gave Heavy the example. If I told somebody that just fucking hated Star Wars to watch Spaceballs, they're not going to think it's fucking funny. Like, because they don't appreciate the source material, or they've never watched it, you know, enough to appreciate the source material. So for me, like, I got it. Like, it doesn't take itself seriously. It's supposed to be basically like a hyper over exaggerated version of those movies. I get it, but it doesn't do anything for me. Like,
yeah,
you know,
you're not the only one out there. I mean, it is.
This is for a very niche group of people. Like, if you love 80s horror movies and you like really intentionally badly done satires, I think you'll like it. But that's kind of like, I don't know. It's like I'm recommending heroin to like somebody that really likes heroin.
I mean, if you like Oxycontin, have you ever tried heroin?
Yeah, it's like, you know, like some people like watching porn where chicks are using their feet for shit. It's like, I mean, if you're into that, you're gonna really like that one.
Yeah,
but it doesn't do anything for me, man.
Yeah.
That's
so what do you give it as far as a rating goes?
I would give it. Okay, I think this movie, I put it in the same vein as like Velocipaster, but I think this movie was better than Velocipaster.
Arguably better.
So I'm gonna give it. I can't give it a 2. I just can't, man. I can't.
Wow, you're having that hard of a time with a 2?
Okay, I'll give it a 2. That's as high as I'll go. Because for me, again, movies are all subjective.
Yeah.
Right? It's all subjective. But for me, it's not that I couldn't stand this movie. It offers nothing for me.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I mean, I did chuckle a couple of times, but that was it.
You know what? I was thinking you were going to be like, okay, this is a fucking 0. This shouldn't exist under any circumstances. You know, kind of the Velocipaster type deal. I was expecting something lower than that. I was thinking you were going to give it maybe a 1.5 at most. But a 2, I'll take a 2 because I'm going to give it a 2.5.
Nice. So I'm not too far off.
Yeah, so we're working with a 4.5 on, and I'm working with, act like you've done this before, guy. Just please, for once, act like you fucking done this before. And I set this up on a Google Docs spreadsheet. So this one got a 4.5 total.
We've got someone in chat that's taking some jabs. Miss Brittany Patrick saying that Steven looks like he needs a quarantine haircut, which I don't know if you're aware, but there's a pandemic.
Yep.
Barbershops aren't necessarily considered essential.
It's true.
I'm making it work, ma'am.
Yeah. I mean, you could take my route and just get bored with the clippers one day.
Use my ball trimmers.
Yeah. Use your ball trimmers. You got a lawnmower 3.0?
Hell yeah, I do.
Well, you know who doesn't? Well, who probably does need a lawnmower 3.0, which is a manscaping. I do my boys all the time. That can be taken way out of context, Erica.
Jesus.
But who definitely has enough hair on their nuts to justify a fucking lawnmower 3.0 is the fella from 1917.
Oh yeah.
So that dude had some hair on his sack.
Yes.
Let's get into that one. You got some information for us?
I do. So, 1917. This movie came out last year, 2019.
Okay.
It is directed, written, and produced by Sam Mendes, which is the same guy that did the 007 movies Skyfall and Spectre. Skyfall, of course, being the better of those two movies. And it stars, let's see.
Nobody that you know.
No, it does have a couple of people. Mark Strong is in it. And then Andrew Scott, which is the guy that plays the villain Moriarty in the Sherlock TV series, which is a great fucking series. Then it has Colin Firth, he plays that small part. And then Benedict Cumberbatch. He's in it as well. It's 119 minutes long, and it had a budget of roughly 90 to 100 million.
Whoa. That movie was 2 hours long?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, it was actually 8 hours long.
No way.
One take.
Dude, and the reason I say that is if that movie is actually 2 hours long, that is probably the quickest 2 hour movie I've ever watched.
Oh, yeah.
It carries 2 hours like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it feels like an hour and a half long movie.
Not even.
And then, so budget was 90 to 100. Box office was 368.7 million. So,
okay. Wicked success.
Yeah, I think it deserved to make more. But, so basic plot, I guess. It's set during World War One,
obviously,
and I don't want to ruin the movie, but basically,
Bob Shorkey says 1917 was 365 days long. Well played, sir.
That was
well played.
But so basically, the Germans have fallen back, right? And there is a group that is going to attack, and it's going to be like, they're going to try to win the war, right? Everybody's ready to fucking go home. But due to some aerial reconnaissance that they've pulled off, they've discovered that they actually had fortified a stronghold. The Germans had fortified a stronghold back further, and they're faking a retreat, and they're actually trying to lead these guys in to fucking slaughter them, basically.
Into a dude bro party massacre.
Into a dude bro party massacre. And so they have to send, because texting wasn't I don't know if you guys are history buffs or not, but texting wasn't around during World War One.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it was even close.
Yeah, they didn't even have cell phones.
Yeah.
I mean, smartphones obviously not, but they didn't even have
Savages,
Nokias. Nothing.
Dude.
So they had to send these two kids, and I used the word kids like intentionally, to go 9 miles across enemy lines to hand deliver a message from the, I don't know how rank works, captain, that, stop this attack because y'all are all going to fucking die. And so that's kind of how that's the plot of the movie. And what makes this movie so fucking cool is that it's all shot to look like one take, so one continuous shot. So due to like some very tricky camera work and editing, they're able to pull that off. But the whole fucking movie it's supposed to simulate that it's one take. There's no breaks, so the camera will follow them into a room or something, and it never cuts. They come out of the room, the camera's still rolling the whole fucking time. And there's like one instance I can remember off the top of my head where obviously there's been a time lapse, but through the point of view of the character, he's unconscious. So the screen kind of goes black and then fades back in and picks up right as he regains consciousness. So it still kind of keeps that element to it.
Which, whoa, puppy. Okay, so there are a couple of movies that I've watched in my life that were like, that are war. American Sniper. Lone Survivor was a great movie.
Oh, that was a really good movie. Hacksaw
Ridge was a killer. But the one that this kind of standard for a war movie that I hold war movies to is Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
I think that is probably the best. That's for me as a war movie, as a movie period, as a time period piece. That's a solid 5. Like, I wish I could give it a 6, but that's off the scale.
I mean, the beach scene alone.
Oh yeah,
that is the gold standard that you judge every other like scene in a war movie.
Yeah,
too.
Battle scene has to keep up with that. So this one is just as good as something like a Hacksaw Ridge or a Lone Survivor, or but is it as good as Saving Private Ryan? That's what I have to look at. That's how I have to look at this. And I think because the way it was shot, right? And I knew going in that this was meant to be shot as one take, right? With that kind of one take feel to it. And so I'm looking at this movie with a very critical eye, trying to find the cuts and trying to find the edits and trying to find the spaces where they could sneak in this or that or the other. And dude, it was fucking hard. And I feel like I've been editing videos for a pretty good fucking while now. And I kind of know some tricks to help myself find the spots where you can ease something like that in there. And dude, it was almost impossible. There was the obvious scene where he's knocked out. That's clearly a cut. But there were a couple of small other places during the explosion in the bunker. They could have, had one there. But dude, some of those scenes, like them walking across the forward position of the whereas there's all the fucking craters and the horses, dead bodies and shit. There's nowhere to cut in there.
And to me, that scene where they're walking across the enemy lines, and that to me is, I think, about as good as the beach scene in a completely different way. Right? I think the beach scene is like the gold standard of a battle. Yeah. Whereas this fucking scene is the gold standard of showing the aftermath of a battle.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean,
the shit you don't see.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts. Like, these kids are walking literally on top of dead bodies.
Yeah.
Right? And like at one point he falls down and his hand goes through a fucking dead guy. And like, it's fucking rough.
And he doesn't know if the Germans are on the other side of this barbed wire fence. So when he sticks his hand inside of a dead body, he can't scream.
Yeah.
You can't freak the fuck out like you think you would.
Yeah.
You just can't, because you don't know. There may be a dude with a fucking Sten gun over there ready to blow your goddamn eyeballs out.
So, yeah, I mean, the tension just in, like, I was fucking white knuckle, dude. And literally, if you boil it down, you're just watching two guys walk for that scene. But it's the atmosphere the movie fucking creates. It's the stakes are set up so well. Like, I mean, this movie starts out, there's no like fiddle fucking around.
Yeah.
Like within
you don't even learn who the characters are.
Yeah, within the first 5 minutes, like you're told the plot, you're told this is what needs to happen, and bam, they get sent off. Like there's no. It almost reminded me of like a Call of Duty campaign almost.
Yeah,
You know, like it had
yeah.
that vibe to it.
It kind of felt like that. Video
But it's
game-ish.
God damn, is this movie done really fucking well? Like it was it was put up for like special effects, and I can't remember in which award. It was one of the big awards. It was either the Oscars or some shit.
Yeah.
But it was nominated for best special effects. And if you watch this movie, you're gonna be like, "There's no fucking special effects in it." But then go watch the breakdown on how they film some of these scenes. Like, there's a scene where he
Yeah.
has to jump into a river, and they had to like green screen the shit and then completely CGI the character to make it look like a seamless cut. Like, it's insane. It reminds me of like the special effects in Irishman,
Yeah.
right? It's they used the special effects to elevate the movie rather than like the special effects
Depend on the
forefront.
special effects.
Right, like the Avengers, no matter how good it looks, you know that that what you're seeing isn't real.
Yeah.
Whereas in here, it looks fucking real.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not the forefront. You're not kind of focusing on it, I guess. I don't know. I fucking love this movie.
And the most nerve-wracking part about this movie to me is, he gets to where he's supposed to go. He fights his way. He gets, popped by the fucking sniper in the bell tower, and he passes out, and he wakes up, and it's nighttime, and he goes through, and all he has to see for light is these goddamn flares that are going off. And then he meets the girl, and there's more flares going off, and he's being chased by these fucking Germans when the sun's coming up, and he jumps into the river. And then he has to crawl over yet even more dead bodies to get out of this fucking river. And he gets up, and as he's approaching this group of guys, the soundtrack, if you will, like the ambient noise of the movie fades away, and you hear this one guy's voice singing an old fucking song way off in the distance. And as he gets closer, they never leave off of that guy's voice. And it's fucking eerie, because the entire movie you hear airplanes flying over and bullets being shot, or the sound of somebody's feet moving as they're walking through rubble, or whatever the case is. There's intense music in the background, and then there's nothing. It is fucking silent except for one dude singing. And it's like, there's fucking 5,000 people out here. There's 40,000 Germans over here waiting to massacre these people. And all you can hear is this one dude.
Yeah.
And it's fucking eerie, dude.
Yeah.
It's eerie how quiet that was. The quiet before the storm.
Yeah. Also, and I don't really want to spoil this movie, and I don't think we have to necessarily. Like, we don't have to spoil all the elements of it, because if you haven't seen it, watch it. But there's a death in this movie, and it is one of the most...
Oh my God.
It's one of the most gut-wrenching deaths in a war movie, or in any movie in general. And I think part of the reason why is because of this whole one continuous take thing, right? Like, essentially, at a certain point in this movie, it's like you've experienced everything through like this kind of POV experience, right? Because it's like you're there, basically. And so there's a death, and there's no cuts. The camera doesn't pan away. Like, you're there, and you literally see the life leaving this guy.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and it happens in real time. And it's just fucking gut-wrenching, man. Like,
it's intense.
There were a couple of times in this movie where I teared up a little bit, because it was like, fuck, man. You see all these fucking horrors and atrocities and shit. I said horrors, not whores. Horrors and atrocities. And then you think about, like, in this movie, and this movie isn't based on any particular true story, but it's based on stories that the director's grandfather told him. And his grandfather was a veteran. So I'm sure there's truth in this story. And you just think about it and you're like, these kids can't be more than probably 17, 18 years old, right? And then you go back and you think there were 16-year-old kids, 15-year-old kids fighting in this fucking war, seeing this shit, going through this shit. I mean, it's fucking gut-wrenching, dude.
And to think, oh, well, that, there are people out there that say, oh, well, just get over it. Get over it.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you get over that?
I'll tell you right now, there is no fucking way. If I was 15-year-old me in a trench warfare, first of all, when I was 15, I straightened my hair. That's what we're dealing with.
I saw pictures.
I was 15, okay? Put me in the front fucking lines of trench warfare, and nah. I'm like one of the first 2 people
dead.
That like, I think they're gone, and I peek up out of the trench, bam, shot in the fucking head, done. Like, there's no way. It's insane to think about, man. Like, I don't know, we don't really think about it anymore because, I mean, trench warfare isn't a thing anymore.
Yeah.
We've got drones, like, so we don't have to worry about that, but that brings on a whole nother
set of problems.
Yeah, but it's just like, it's amazing to think that people not only did it, but fucking volunteered to do it.
Yeah, we're like forging their parents' signatures to go do it.
Yeah, lying about their age. Like, they had such a sense of duty to their country.
You said duty.
I said duty. They had such a sense of duty for their country that it was like they're willing not only to put their lives on the line, but to do it in literally one of the worst ways possible.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So what do you give it?
I give it a 5. 100% this movie deserves a 5. Like, this is a cut above a regular war movie. Like, it's a cut above Hacksaw Ridge. I love that movie. It's a cut above Lone Survivor. I really like that movie too. But this is the most invested I felt in characters during a war movie. Like, I actually gave a shit what happened to these characters.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a 5.
Well, I took our list that's normally written in a book and I put it on a Google Docs, a Google spreadsheet, just so I could keep up with everything and mark everything down. And as I'm going through, I wrote down last week's episode, then this week's episode, and I put 1917, Dude Bro Party Massacre 3. I did not fill in Dude Bro Party Massacre 3, but I gave 1917 a 10 out of a 10 almost an hour ago.
Nice.
Because I knew I was giving it a 5 no matter what.
Yeah. This
is one that not only do you have to see, but after you watch it, you also got to go to YouTube and find some of the stuff where how they filmed the behind the scenes of 1917 or the making of 1917, whatever you want to find. I think this movie is one of those that, like, you should definitely, if you haven't seen it already, I don't give a fuck if it's $20. It's worth it. It's definitely worth every fucking penny.
Yeah, this is, to me, this is one of last year's best films, hands down. Hands fucking down.
Oh yeah, like, absolutely.
I mean, there were some really good movies last year, but I can't think of one off the top of my head that beats this one out. I can't think of one.
I don't know of anything on our list. If you watch this and The Warrior back to back in one day, you just go ahead and go back to bed and call it a fucking win. You've pretty much done it.
Yeah. Both of which are gonna pull at your fucking heartstrings, man.
Yeah, the day can't get much better. So
I'm telling you, this movie, like, and it sucks because I feel like a lot of people didn't watch this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I think it's because people are like, oh, it's a fucking war movie. This is not a regular war movie. Do not let the fact that this is a war movie turn you off.
Yeah.
Like, if you're like, I don't fucking like, there's no, there's no like battle scenes. I mean, there really isn't. It's that's not the point of the movie. The war is the setting of the movie, right? But this is like a fucking character drama, tense thriller, and I don't know. It's fucking great. Obviously, we're giving it a 10.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there you go. The second 10 this show has seen out of 25, 25 that are just on this list. I think we're at about 30. I think we had 6 movies before this, so we should be around 31. 2 out of 31. That's pretty compelling shit. What?
Yeah, we're not just handing those 10s out.
Yeah, not at all.
And that's kind of why I really like the whole each of us give a rating, because we both have to love the fucking movie for it to get a 10.
I mean, we got Knives Out at a 9.5, right? So that's pretty damn close. And we got the what was it, Invisible Man at a 9.
Yeah.
So yeah, Knives Out. Yep. And Nice Guys. Nice Guys got a 9 too. So it's tough to get a 10 around here. It's definitely tough, but I think if any of the movies we have done deserve that 10, this is it.
Oh yeah.
That's it all day.
The story, the cinematography, everything about this movie. Like, there is nothing about this movie that I would fucking change. Nothing.
I don't
and
think
like
so.
You said, the runtime, it carries the time so well.
Dude,
you're never bored.
It's unbelievable. When you said an hour and a half, 2 hours, 129 minutes, I think it was. Dude, it's hard to think that was 2 hours.
Yeah.
It does not feel like it.
Yeah, and when the movie takes like a minute to breathe, you're not bored because you've literally just been like fucking gripping your goddamn seat, and it's like
your butthole's been biting your fucking blue jeans for a minute.
It's like, fucking finally, all right, I can fucking breathe, and it only lasts a minute, and then it's right back to it.
Yeah, it almost feels like when he falls down that staircase and he gets knocked out for a minute, you're almost like, whew. Okay, I can breathe for a second. Fuck, he's awake.
Yeah. It was interesting because I was like, well, how are they gonna when it fades to black, I was like, it's gonna ruin the whole fucking thing that they've been doing for an hour and a half, and then it cuts right back to it. I'm like, okay, that works.
Yeah.
That fucking works. And this movie, another thing, did you see Fury with Brad Pitt?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you remember how in that movie it had the scene where they go in and they sit with the French, I think it was French civilian chick or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, in that movie, that scene to me felt so out of place. Like, it was like, what the fuck is happening?
It's kind of awkward.
Right. In this movie, a very similar scene happens, but it doesn't feel out of place at all.
Yeah.
Like, it actually adds to the movie. It's the first time I've seen a scene like that where it actually adds to the movie.
Yeah, where it doesn't detract anything.
Yeah, this movie did everything right. Adrian, we have not reviewed Hunters. I doubt we will. But
that's the series on Amazon, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So we probably won't. We don't really do series that much. We only did Tiger King because. But Hunters is very good. Very, very good. I would venture to say great.
I started watching Ozarks, the 3rd season of Ozarks. I go back to work Thursday, so my plans for the next let's see, Tuesday, Wednesday, for the next 2 days is to finish up Ozarks and watch whatever we decide for next week. So what we need y'all to do is, speaking of next week, we need y'all to go to our Instagram page and drop us some suggestions as to what we should do for next week.
Yeah.
You got any ideas yet?
I remember we had some suggestions last week. So I'll
well, D-Bone's officially in timeout.
Yeah.
for Dude Bro Party Massacre 3.
Sorry, Bone. I'm sorry, not sorry. I fucking God damn that movie. But I'll go back to last week's live chat and see if there were some suggestions, and if there were enough suggestions, I can make an Instagram post with those suggestions and have people vote on those, or I'll figure something out.
Adrian Daniels says, "Oh, I have the perfect movie."
Adrian is also in suggestion timeout. We've never taken one of Adrian's suggestions, but I'm just making an executive decision.
Oh, Dakota has one. He and I took a trip up to Hattiesburg this weekend, and he was telling me about this Underwater with Kristen Stewart. He said that's actually a pretty good flick.
Kristen Stewart, the Twilight chick.
Yes.
That can't act. Maybe
Absolutely,
she can act, actually.
at all.
Maybe she can. Maybe this movie would change our minds.
I seriously doubt it, but I mean, we could go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually down for that. I like doing the newer releases.
Okay, so Underwater. What you got, Adrian Daniels? Let's hear it.
I guarantee you, it's going to be something that. Never mind. I'm not going to say it. I can't say it.
Suggestion time. Damn, he's tell me how you really feel.
Adrian, ain't you supposed to be at work? I know churches ain't closed yet.
Wow.
No, Adrian works at the church's chicken drive-thru.
The Wiz.
The Wiz is, in case you didn't know what The Wiz was.
I don't know what The Wiz is.
The Wiz is The Wizard of Oz, but it is an African-American remake of The Wizard of Oz.
What's wrong with that?
I didn't say anything was wrong with it.
Okay.
I didn't say anything was wrong with it, but I'm not very interested in watching it.
Why not?
I'm just not. First, I don't even like The Wizard of Oz.
What kind of communist shit is that? How do you not like The Wizard of Oz?
I think that movie is trash. I've always thought that movie was trash.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Wow.
But
Brittany's going to hate you, dude.
It's got Michael Jackson in it. I think it's before Michael Jackson started diddling kids, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I think he probably started that shit pretty early. But I don't know.
More than likely. I mean, you don't just decide one day when you're 28. Let's fucking start.
Yeah, I'm in my mid-30s now. You know what I think I'm going to start doing?
Grabbing kids' cocks.
My life feels incomplete. I have no idea.
Anyways, all right. Well, on that note, we're going to get out of here. We've officially pissed off
to leave on.
all the Michael Jackson fans. And, yeah. Ow. Yeah. Dude, I got a fucking ingrown hair in my mustache. Does not feel good.
Yeah.
So anyways, all right. Well, that's what we've got.
I'll make a post. We'll figure something out. Yep.
Check our Instagram. We'll be over there. So, yeah. Love, peace, and all of that glorious chicken grease.
Later, guys.